You're making all of us waste precious time, so now, eat. Why do you want me to eat your meat so badly? Hey, yo. Hello, and welcome to Taste. This is a Yandere visual novel in which you wake up and a man is pointing a knife at you. He seems really strange because he just keeps offering you meat over and over again to eat. Let's get started. Wakey, wakey, sleepyhead. Oh god. Okay. Wakey, wakey, sleepyhead. Come on. I don't have all day. My head pounded like the worst hangover I've had in years, and his voice was making it worse. I slowly opened my eyes to find myself in a tiny room with a man sitting on the table across from me. His eyes gleamed like the knife in his strange hand. Oh, hang on a second. He kinda pretty. Well, look who finally decided to join the land of the living. Sort of. You've been out for a few days. How are you feeling there? I tried to move, but I felt tight chains around my wrists bounding me to my chair. I panicked, and I tried to forcefully move again, but to no avail. Ooh, the teeth! Yeah. Don't fight the restraints. You're not gonna hurt yourself, but it's annoying to me. I worked really hard today, so I don't want to move much. What's going on? What is this place? What are you gonna do to me? You know, when you ask multiple questions, you're likely to only receive answers with only the last one, right? He smirked at me, looking down on me. Anyway, to answer your questions in order, 1, I made dinner, 2, my house, and 3, nothing. I just need you to eat. What? What? Silence fell between us and he just seemed to smile at me. I couldn't figure out what he was thinking or planning to do to me. It all seemed so strange. Was he planning to kill me or something like that? Was he enjoying the strange charade for some reason? The pain in my wrist was starting to make itself known, and while moving I heard the chains make a sound. Stop trying to move. I'm not above hitting a baby fawn. You know, your teeth are very Wait, I just realized. His hand? Either he's just got really long nails, or this man has claws. What do you want from me? From you? Honestly, nothing. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it because his worship asked me to deal with a newborn and nobody can say no to him. Any other questions? Well, yes? Then ask away. What the fuck? The man snorted before he started laughing quietly. His teeth were sharp and pointy like tiny blades in his mouth. His hand was blackened with nails like claws, and the way the light shone on him made everything feel like a dream. Well then, do you want the long version or the short version? Stop f***ing with me. I could do a whole lot worse than f*** with you. You don't even seem to understand the position you're in right now. I mean, truly. What does this look like to you? A kidnapping turned murder? That's child's play to us. Your situation is a lot worse than that. And it'll only get worse from now on, but you'll have to learn to live with it. A cold chill ran down my spine and fear took over me. I only wanted to talk back, but my mouth hung open like a fool and my teeth chattered as if the room had suddenly gotten colder. Everything in my body was telling me to run, but I was tied to the spot in the room. Humans are so fun to mess with. Oh, is he not human? His voice suddenly lost the animosity and he looked at me with pity. It's fun that newborns still keep this naivety to them. We might have to beat it out of you later, but that'll have to wait till I'm back from work. Anyway, let me explain. I held my breath without noticing, waiting for an answer to whatever this was. You were attacked a few days ago, don't know why, don't know by who, don't know where, and I don't care to know either. His worship found you and brought you to mine and my roommate's home. We certainly didn't expect you to survive the transformation, but alas you did. Congratulations. So now you're in our charge, or as I like to call it, babysitting. Not my cup of tea, nor am I getting paid for it, but we can't say no to that man. And soon you will learn that neither can you. You stopped talking, like that was all you had to say, but it made no sense. None of this did. What the hell are you talking about? You're not making any sense. No? Don't you humans have lots of movies about this? Well, I guess it's mostly about vampires and the like. Sorry to disappoint, you're not a vampire. That would make your life so much easier. The hell at a much higher regard rather than you or I, we're at the very bottom of the food chain. A vampire spawn? He paused for a moment, thinking. Don't tell his worship I said that. What do you mean vampires? I said you're not a vampire. Then what the f am I? Why don't you look down? What do you mean look down? What am I gonna see? What? Look down at yourself. I did as ordered and looked down. My heart jumped out of my chest where I saw a snout, where I swear I should have seen my own nose. Whiskers on each side and a very obvious animal muzzle. Am I a werewolf? I panicked, my heart beating so fast I saw it would leap out of my chest onto the plate in front of me. I heard my own panicked panting and I couldn't recognize it. I sounded like a dog. Frantic, I looked at myself even more. My shirt was half ripped and instead of my skin I grew grey fur extending all the way down to my belt. My pants weren't my own, but somehow they fit my legs that were not so much bigger than before. I was horrified by my appearance and pulled at the chains without thinking. Ew! Before long, I felt the strong zap of electricity around my neck, jolting me out of my frenzy. Humiliating how a dog collar fits you so well. He waved a little controller at me. What happened? I finally managed to cry, my voice faltered. As I said, you survived your transformation into a dog! What does that even mean? You're a werewolf, Harry. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, I couldn't help it. He laughed at his own joke. What do you mean, werewolf? Stop around and just tell me. I mean it in the most literal way possible. You're a werewolf now, more technically a lycanthrope since you became one due to infection and not magic. Your life as you know it is basically over, but lucky you, his worship seems to like charity, and will sort everything you need from now on. Aren't you a lucky boy? What the? Stop with me. Explain. My voice wavered and my eyes swelled with tears. Please. The man sitting across from me looked puzzled and almost confused. He didn't talk for what I felt like an eternity and I cried in silence. I guess I don't understand humans. Why are you crying now? I don't get it. You don't know what a werewolf even is. Why are you sad before you even know anything? What's your problem? Do you want to list in alphabetical or chronological order? His jovial tone irked every bone in my body, and at the same time, like a fool, I wanted to jump on him and wipe that smile off his face in a sexy way. He shocked me again without hesitation, and I slumped over in my chair motionless. Now what? Now it's dinner time. You haven't eaten since your transformation, and your kind do not take well to hunger. I looked at him puzzled, but he ignored me before getting up and dropping a plate of raw meat in front of me. I wanted to be disgusted, but my mouth watered at the sight and I could smell the blood so clearly it was maddening. It's not easy to get human meat these days. Might be the only proper meal you have for a while. My heart sunk to my stomach as I heard his words. Human meat? What's the point of me now? Aren't I tied to this chair already? You can zap me whenever you want. What do you gain from doing this? I've been very clear this entire time, have I not? You're now a werewolf. Werewolves need human meat. I'm in charge of you from now on and I brought you human meat. The curtains sometimes are just blue. There's nothing here, darling. Eat or don't eat. Okay, I'm gonna save. First, we're not gonna eat it. My mouth watered at the sight of the meat sitting in front of me, waiting to be devoured. My eyes glued to it like a feral animal. The smell was driving me insane, but I just couldn't do it. Can't. The man frowned, but didn't say a word. He looked at me patiently, waiting for me to do something. But I couldn't bring myself to eat it. I felt that if I ate human flesh, I would lose myself, my humanity. I was human, not whatever he just said I was. I convinced my hazy mind this was all a dream. That I simply imagined the snout and the fur. This was all a nightmare that I could wake up from at any moment. I can wait here. I have all day even if I have to skip work, but I don't think you understand that you don't. I can't eat raw human flesh like this. You're insane. This is insane. He pointed the knife at me and his red eyes glared at me. Are you insane? I can't do this. Do you know what happens to bad boys that don't do as they're told? He asked as his sharp teeth glistened under the light, the knife's edge shining, approaching my neck ever so slowly. I'm not eating human flesh. You're insane if you think I'm gonna believe any of this bullshit. Just let me go. You're making all of us waste precious time, so now, eat. Why do you want me to eat your meat so badly? Hey, yo. His voice got louder and angrier, and I just wish the ringing in my ears would take me from this nightmare. But luck didn't seem to be on my side. Well, it seems that you're gonna make things difficult for us. Uh-oh. The man stood in front of me playing with his knife like it was a toy, dangling it as he slowly walked over to me. I didn't know how horror could feel, but every part of my body seemed to be glued to that chair in that moment. I wanted to fight the chains to free myself, but my body refused to move. My heart was beating so fast I could hear my own thoughts inside my head. You know, I always wondered how pups like you taste. Just turned into a werewolf, but you were human just a few days ago. I wonder how that affects the quality of the meat. Does it rearrange your organs inside of you? I don't know, but if you'd like, you can rearrange my organs in a different way. He asked out loud as his face got closer and closer to mine. His eyes were cold and the man I had been talking to before suddenly was gone. I wanted to scream, to run, but I just sat there frozen in fear. I'm not one to be wasteful of food, but I'm not so sure you're edible for me. He hesitated as the knife reached my throat. He looked me up and down, and with a hand he touched my skin, or fur. His blackened hand was cold to the touch and his nails so sharp that he cut me without even trying. Anyway, I have to go to work, so I'll make this quick. He winked at me before walking behind me. sharp knife against my neck and the blade touches me so gently for a moment. Let's do a countdown. Let's not! Just get it over and done with, Jesus! 4. Please stop. I finally managed to murmur. I can't hear you, he said in a sing-song mocking tone. 3. Please. I begged again. 2. I felt the pressure of the blade against my skin. The pain was immeasurable and... Ending 2. Good boys should eat their dinner. Damn it, I just died! Fuck this guy. This guy straight up sucks. But he's also kinda hot, so hee. Alright, let's try this again. This time, we are gonna eat the meat. Alright, well, time to eat this guy's meat. I'll never get tired of making this joke. I stared at the man for what felt like an eternity again. I moved in my chair uncomfortable with my wrist tied behind my back. How did this man expect me to eat? My mouth watered like a desperate dog and it felt humiliating. He looked at me bored and waited for me to make the first move. Untie me so I can eat. I was ashamed of my own words for some reason. How could I so easily accept something so horrid, but the hole in my stomach grumbled louder and louder? No way, you're tied exactly for this reason. I can't eat with my hands behind my back, and I don't see most animals needing their hands to eat. Oh wow, he's a freak, isn't he? This reminds me of that, the milk dude. I'm not a dog. Well, now you are. Look at you. You're tied in case you go insane, dumbass. Do you think any of this is that simple? You turning into a being with a different nature and expect your brain to be okay with it? Just because you survived the transformation doesn't mean you're out of the woods yet. Eat the meat, and then we'll talk. This guy's a douche. I want to kick his butt so bad. I looked down at the plate. The meat was raw and looked extremely fresh. Cut like this, it was easy to forget it was human. Maybe it was a sick joke he was playing on me and wanted to see how far he could push me. I choked down my thoughts. My mind was slowly becoming a haze to the smell of the meat sitting in front of me, begging to be eaten. I slumped down enough for my mouth to reach the plate, and with difficulty I took a bite. It was unclean and difficult to eat. The meat was tender and easy to tear into, almost like ground meat. It felt like heaven as it went down my throat, and I wanted more. Oh no. I finished the plate too fast. Silence inundated the room once more, and he looked at me with a serious face and waited. And now? His eyes gleam with excitement and he smiles at me gently. I don't trust this guy. Well, congratulations. It seems I don't have to kill you now. You said you would explain things after eating, and I did. Now explain everything. From beginning and stop leaving random shit behind. I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm not used to ignorant humans. You see, I work in the underbelly of the city, so it's rare for me to even meet a human. I'm only doing this because he asked me to. That's not an explanation. Alright, someone's sensitive today. I mean, I could turn into a monster. He'll have a better answer when his worship comes back, but he's a busy man. In the meantime, this is all I know. Lycans are the only ones that can turn humans into werewolves, and they're very literally wolves with magical abilities. From my minimal understanding, some have enough magic to become sentient the way you and I are. Through magic, they can make humans and other species for that matter into lycanthropes. This requires permanent markings and blah blah blah. I'm not a mage, but that's not what you are. I swear to God. I wouldn't do that if I were you. The gods are above the likes of you and they do listen, but they tend to be quite mean. You're no longer under the human god's watch. As I was saying, all that is actually consensual. Someone willingly becomes a lycanthrope and then they give away the previous form to gain pretty nice physical abilities. But I didn't agree to it. If you'd let me talk, go on. It is said that not all lycans that acquire magic become sentient. Legends say few become feral. Not like actual feral like they're wolves to begin with, feral as in a rabid animal. Desperate and hungry, their bite carries a disease that turns humans like you against their will into this. Unlike lycanthropes, you are like your feral parent. Filthy. Aww! Filth only teaches filth, and due to that you're likely to go insane and lose yourself to these new instincts of yours once you taste meat for the first time. Then why'd you make me eat it? We're not sure how much more beyond that, but there is meditation that could help calm those feelings enough for you to survive just on animal meat. His worship and subsequently me and my roommate will provide you with underground doctors that will prescribe it to you, and as well as a new housing arrangement. But don't get your hopes up on that regard. You make it sound easy. We're making it easy for you. Normally a human would be impossible to get to talk with any of us, and eventually you become feral and attack other humans. His worship just wants to avoid that, so we make your life easier that way. But that doesn't explain why you're helping me. It doesn't? No. Well, you'll understand more once you meet the man himself. Maybe you'll go see for yourself that we can't say no to him. Whatever he says is law, and maybe you just need to feel it in your body to understand. You make him sound like a terrifying being. Logically it is. He doesn't need to order us to do anything, but it is terrifying how we're compelled to obey his every word. Luckily, this guy is much nicer than the previous one. The old man was truly an asshole, so we're lucky, I guess. Well, time to get to work. He got up from his chair and sauntered behind me, and gently released the chains around my wrist. The loud clank the chains made when hitting the floor resonated in the tiny room, and my ears were ringing. It'll take a while for you to get used to how sensitive all your senses now are. I got up from my chair, feeling my wrists and my head hit the lamp. I was so much taller than before, well that's a difference. And the floor felt so distant, I felt like I was gonna fall. He laughed at my obvious discomfort and walked out of the room humming a song to himself. Ending 1. I guess this is my life now. Man, I hate this dude. He's done nothing but be mean and shitty to me. Anyway, that was Taste. Thank you for experiencing the story with me. This really reminded me of, remember that milk story that we played, the Mad Room number 3? Because we wake up in a strange room with this guy, and this guy is also forcing us to eat as well, so that's like kind of what gave me the same vibes. Anyway, do I just remain as like a wolf-looking person forever? Do I not get to turn back into a human form? I don't want to have a snout. Oh well. I hope you guys enjoyed the story though. If you guys liked the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. And let me know in the comments. Down below, would you have chosen to eat the meat or would you have refused it? But that's all for now, and until next time, take care.